If you've worked with Microsoft Excel for any length of time, or perhaps with Microsoft Word, you've come to appreciate the value of copying by a two-step process, copy-paste, or moving data by a two-step process of cut and paste. But many times, after selecting data, a simple drag will let you move or copy data easily. We're looking at a worksheet called Move, Copy, Insert. It's in the workbook 05 layout. I'd like to make a copy of this data and experiment with some of the numbers, or maybe I want to make a copy of the data and do it for the second half of the year. So I've got all this data highlighted like this. So rather than doing a copy-paste, which certainly isn't wrong, I'm just going to point to one of the edges here and start to drag. Now, at some point in the process, a tiny little plus accompanies that arrow. So a so-called control drag, that's what I'm doing right now. I drag the data down to here, let go of the mouse, and there's a copy. The formula right here in cell B21 refers to those two cells, not the ones up above. So formulas generally are not a problem when you copy data. Now, I'm going to undo that, Control Z. Sometimes you simply want to move data. And unless you're moving in hundreds of rows, many times it's going to be easier simply to drag data. Similar to what we just did with the copy. This time we hold down no keys on the keyboard. We've got our data highlighted. We drag an edge. We put it there or over there if the case were appropriate. Fine, we move it wherever we want. And that's generally the easier way to do it. Now, if you look at this worksheet for a bit, something is a little bit off. We've got sales, expenses, and profits in rows 4, 5, and 6. And here we're analyzing the sales change, but somehow or other, this is profits and this is expenses. Now, a standard technique here would be what? To insert some new cells above this. Now, one option could be we could take this data, move it down, then move the expenses up. But why not do this in more or less a single action after selecting the data? You can move and insert by dragging data with the Shift key. So I'd like to drag this data upward, put it between what are now in rows 9 and 10, but I'll be holding down the Shift key as I do this. Got the Shift key held down, I'm dragging the top edge upward. Let go of the mouse first, and there we are, a move and insert. And I've got some data off to the right, and for whatever reason, I want to move some of that in a similar way. I want the hire date to be to the left of the Social Security number column. So I click Column Q. I'm going to be dragging the left edge. I've got the Shift key held down. I drag it this way. So you can drag left or right. You can do it with multiple columns. It just saves time so we don't have to insert new columns, move and delete and so on. And so the more you get comfortable with these commands, the more you have the sense that no matter how the worksheet looks, you can easily redesign the look of a worksheet layout by moving data, copying data, or in some cases, moving and inserting data at the same time.